How are we doing there, boys and girls? Manthieus here, and welcome back to another video. Now today I wanted to just give you guys a bit of an update to how patch 9.1 has gone for me personally. Now some of you probably don't care, but a lot of you enjoy watching the live streams, and I appreciate not everybody gets to watch live. I've not done one of these little update videos for a while, but I thought considering we're now about a week into a patch, it's time to talk about what I've been doing, how we've been doing it, and just how successful we've been at attempting to do it. So let's start with the beginning. Patch 9.1 landed and it was all about Korthia. For a couple of days I lost countless hours to Korthia. A lot of you guys are probably very aware of this scenario as it stands now, but we were doing some things. What were we doing? To be fair, we were trying to figure things out. Rep grind was the name of the game though to begin with. Rep with both the Death's Advance and the Archivist Codec was priority. Getting ourselves up to honoured with the Death's Advance and hitting at least tier 4 with the Archivist Codex were two of our big priorities to begin with. Why? Because of the new fancy shiny Crafter's Mark gear. There's Crafter's Mark 3 and Crafter's Mark of the Chained Isle. Now I have unlocked both of those and I'm slowly but surely working through doing some fun stuff with it. Jewel crafting is without question popping off. If you happen to have a jewel crafter, I would be doing Korthia as much as you possibly can, because these rings and gems are doing silly things right now. For reference, just ever so quickly, and this video is not going to be the most organised of videos, we're going to jump around a little bit, but you can see the item level 200 stuff, the item level 230 stuff is selling basically as fast as I can craft the stuff at the moment. And equally legendaries, of course. Anybody that has watched this channel for a reasonable amount of time knows that I love me the legendaries. I'm now in a luxurious position where we have, if we quickly open Legendary Stock Tracker, we have every single legendary in the game. Not only every single legendary in the game available to us, but we have every single legendary in the game crafted. They're all up on the auction house. Obviously rank 5s and 6s are at some silly prices right now. We're getting a few sales, though. That was one of the biggest questions in the stream. We are actually getting a few sales of these rank 5s and 6s at some pretty juicy prices. But of course, as we know, the demand is not really there for legendaries yet. That will really kick into gear next week. The week 1 of patch 9.1 was all about farming up those Korthite crystals. Week 2 is going to be all about unlocking the patterns to be able to make the rank 5s and 6s and starting to make some of them. But week 3 is where all the fun is really going to kick into high gear, as people will actually want to be buying these to take them to the rune carver to make their legendary. I'm trying to get ahead of the game. I'm trying to do it without bankrupting myself, which is another challenge, but as it stands at the moment, we've got somewhere in the region of 32 million gold worth of legendaries pre-crafted and ready to sell when the madness kicks in. So yeah, legendary game is going to be fun. Do I have any advice with the legendaries? I probably have a few tips with the legendaries. My suggestion would be to heavily focus on those Korthite crystals. The more of them you can farm up yourself within a good amount of time, the safer position you're going to be in. But what I would also say is, if you are crafting with the Korthite crystals and making the rank 5 and 6 legendaries, don't panic. If you're making them this week, don't panic. Don't do deep undercuts. Don't stress that you need to sell these things quickly. Mainly because, like we said, the demand is not there yet. The demand will kick in after the next reset, when people have enough soul cinders to actually do something constructive with that base item. For now, your target market is the people who are getting ahead of the game. They're planning ahead. They're planning for next week. They're making sure that they've got the item that they need so that they can go straight to the rune carver when they have the cinders available. There's not so many of those people kicking about. But for anybody that can't get into the legendary game, the Crafter's Mark item level 200 gear and the 230 gear is still absolutely flying off the shelves. Prices are being tanked pretty quickly, but that's to be expected. This is somewhat readily available crafted gear. There is a big spike in demand to begin with, but it does filter down very quickly. If you go out there, get it though, it's very lucrative. Now, one question that is asked is, my TSM groups, do they support the new stuff? Short answer, yes. Long answer, yes, sort of. Especially for my Patreons out there, those guys who get not only my TSM groups, but also the operations and the custom price sources to go with it. Stay tuned. There are some relatively sizable bugs still in TSM, and I want to make sure that those are smoothed out before I make the profile public. But for you guys who have jumped on board with the Patreon already, big thank you. Your support to the channel means a lot. It means I can focus more time on doing this to begin with, and I am doing my best. Let it be known that I am working towards getting a updated profile with all the 200, 230 and legendary stuff out. That should be out, I would say, in the next few days, so stay tuned. Let's talk about the markets for a little minute. There have been some interesting things. We made a lot of predictions when we went into patch 9.1 about what some of the materials we would do. We have flying now. Flying is definitely going to start kicking into gear. People are going to go out into the main 4 zones and they're going to do some farming. I took a little dive around at some of the materials. Let's take a quick look at heavy callous hide for a minute. This is one that's a bit of a favourite of the channel. As we know full well, heavy callous hide has been a staple for leather workers. Now, I want to just draw your attention to the regional graph here. This is, of course, for the EU. The NA graph is a little bit different, but it's not far off. Look at the red line is the one that's interesting here, right? Look at the quantity of heavy callous hide that's appeared in the last week. It's ridiculous. Why is this the case, though? Well, it's because nearly everything in Korthia can be skinned. With the amount of people out there, skinners have had an absolute field day for the last few days, and if you happen to have a skinner and are short on a few gold, then I would suggest jumping over to Korthia. There's even been a couple of days where the world quest is in a zone where you can do skinning. There's a zone to the left here, what's it called? Scholar's Den. This place is an absolute haven for people to run through and kill mobs and skin them. People have made an absolute ton over there so far. I've not been doing much skinning, much farming. I've been focusing on rep grinding, because not only am I having to get my Archivist's rep and my Death's Advance rep on my main character, he of course only houses 2 of the professions. I want tailoring and I also want blacksmithing, which unfortunately for me, they're on separate characters. So I'm doing the rep grind 3 times, but it's all in good fun, right? Once you've done it, and you can craft some stuff. But I'll leave it there, boys and girls. I wanted to keep this video relatively short and sweet. A bit of an update for you guys on the YouTube of exactly how we've been doing. A little bit of a shameless plug for my Patreon in the middle there, but it's a worthwhile service if you choose to support the channel. Going forward, next week is going to be all about doing some auction house PvP, so I'd love if you pop over to the live stream and say hi. We stream every day, or at least Monday through till Friday, with the occasional Saturday and Sunday streams as well. Twitch.tv/Manthieus. Of course, links are always in the description down below. But there we go, boys and girls. I will love you and leave you. Have a good day, happy goal making, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.